Mrazek, busy and outstanding in Montreal despite the loss Saturday, returns to the building where he notched his first career shutout. And tonight, facing much talked about 18-year-old Connor McDavid, the #1 pick last June, a generational player, say the pundits, or as they call him in Edmonton, McSavior. But no pressure. First of 2 meetings and last meeting ever here at Rexall Place as the Oilers next season moved into new downtown digs, a season ahead of the Red Wings, moving into theirs. Hello again, everyone. Ken Daniels alongside Chris Osgood as we welcome you to Edmonton, the place where you notched your final regular season win in your final regular season start. So I know you like coming here, and nice to have you here. What about this Red Wing team from your vantage point from the studio the first week?
Well, first off, I love coming here, Ken, but I also love the quality starts the Red Wings have been getting from both their goaltenders early on this season. I really love the way that Aegis Wonder Zetterberg has started the season as well. Applicator taking off where he left off last season, where he played very well. He's off to a hot start too, but young Larkin, wow. This kid to me could challenge for Rookie of the Year, and I love the way Jack Kendall and the rest of the defensive players, they need to possess the puck a little more, generate a little more offense. They kind of fell off the last 2 games. I look for them to get back on track this road trip.
We'll be talking a lot about shots tonight, shots against, shots for. Red Wings have to do more of that. You mentioned the top line with Zetterberg, Abdelkader, and Larkin. That stays together, but in search for some offense, the rest have been changed.
And they really haven't gotten much other than Polkadin with 3 goals and Nyquist with 2. The first line has really carried this team throughout the first 5 games. Now Coach Blashill's put together Nyquist, Shea, and Tatar, familiar with them from Grand Rapids, where he played them together a lot there. They also played together last year at times, and they fit very nicely together. Richards goes down their third line with Polkadin. Like I said, he's been hot lately with 3 goals.
Thomas Tatar, just like he was a season ago, slow out of the gate, so Thomas Tatar trying to find the answers, but first he must answer the questions from John Keating.
All right, Kenny, thanks. You've had so much success on a line with Shane and Nyquist. How much do you need that right now to be reunited with those guys?
For sure, it would be nice to find one end, just to get the confidence going. But I think all other lines, we have to step up, and help the team and start produce a little more.
How is your confidence right now?
It's not the best, but I'm not really worried about it. It's just start of the season. There's so many games left. So, just focus game by game and try to do the best what I can.
I guess you have to remember that you started slowly last season and you ended up leading the team in goal scoring. That has to be rolling around in your head, doesn't it?
Oh, it does for sure. It's calming me down. Like you said, I got to do something to have a little better start of the season. But like I said, there's many games, and not really think about it.
What's the importance tonight of spending more team in the opposing team zone?
We have to be strong on the puck in the corners, make some plays, make some safety plays, and overshoot the puck. We need more shots on the net to score a goal for sure.
Thomas, thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it, guys.
Thomas Tatar will have his jersey on. Game time coming up here in Edmonton. Kenny?
And Connor McDavid wears jersey number 97, that for his birth year. For the Edmonton Oilers, they hope it's a rebirth. They also hope it's their last first overall pick because they've had too many of those. Their only success seems to be lottery driven. We should all be so lucky. This player profile is brought to you by EA Sports NHL 16.
And talk about winning the lottery. The Oilers did just that in getting young McDavid. This guy, like you said, Ken, generational player. This guy is unbelievable talent. But the thing is, talent doesn't make it all the way in the National Hockey League. He needs to learn how to play. He needs to learn how to make himself available for passes. He needs to learn how to play without the puck at the NHL level. Now let's get one thing straight. This kid is a great talent, one of the best players to come to the Oilers in a long time, let alone come to the National Hockey League as well. But it's hard. It's a man's league to play at an NHL level without the puck. He's still learning. He's only 18.
The team he left, by the way, the Erie Otters, the OHL, they're off to a 9-0 start. McDavid, what? No, anyway, he has some good players, and the Edmonton Oilers have won their last 2 games. The Red Wings have lost their last 2. However, in this building, it's been Red Wing domination with at least a point in each of the past 14 visits here, 9 wins. It's the Red Wings' last ever visit here, and it's right around the corner on Fox Sports Detroit. Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Come in and get a great deal on the best trucks during Ram Truck Month. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Comcast Business, built for business.
Welcome inside the studio. Trevor Thompson alongside Darren Elliott as we take you up the puck drop between the Red Wings and the Oilers. The first of 3 as the Red Wings hit the road. Now it's time to have a look at our upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons, and this 3-game road trip continues Friday night in Calgary. It's the first of another set of back-to-backs for the Wings, who have had a back-to-back every weekend to start this season. It wraps up Saturday with a game against the Canucks at the Rogers Centre in Vancouver. As you pointed out earlier, Darren, the Rogers, they own Canada. So Rogers Centre in Vancouver is the site of that one on Saturday night. Then it's back home for the Carolina Hurricanes Tuesday night at Joe Louis Arena. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night, just prior to puck drop, between the Wings and the Oilers. And Darren, all the talk in Edmonton right now, and justifiably so, is around their top pick, Connor McDavid. But I spoke with Hall of Famer Igor Larionov earlier today. He's got a top pick who's a client as well, Nail Yakupov, whose numbers have flourished since McDavid and Todd McLellan, the new head coach, have arrived in Edmonton. And Igor told me that Yakupov is succeeding right now because he doesn't have to worry about trade distractions and that kind of talk, and he's now in a position to succeed alongside a player who can help him, and that is McDavid.
Yeah, that's really part of it, putting players into position to succeed. Todd McLellan doing that for Nail Yakupov. The other thing is, he's been in the league since he was 18. And you do gain experience, even if you're losing all the time. You want it to be positive, but for Yakupov, it hasn't been. They were looking for him to be a scorer, but he's the kind of guy, just a true power forward winger. He needs someone to get him the puck in space. The thing is, until Connor McDavid showed up, there was nobody doing that with any regularity. So Yakupov, who came into the league as an 18-year-old in 2012, he's just turning 20 and 21. I mean, these guys, it's crazy. So you can see how many first overall picks they've had. That's good. You have talent, but now they have a plan in place, a coach that can bring a plan in place to teach the game. And again, these kids have experience, so it won't be, I don't think, necessarily as long a turnaround as people might think. They've gotten used to losing there. You've got to change your ways from that standpoint. Todd McLellan, the coach, will change that culture.
These young kids have had a lot of ice time. They played a lot against a lot of NHL competition right now. How much of an advantage does that give Todd coming in, because these guys already have some experience at that level?
That's true. I mean, that's a good way of looking at it, Trev. But the other side is all the bad habits that losing brings. And you see, when you're a young player in the National Hockey League, you're just trying to survive. So you think this is what it's like, but you always had success as a junior player. Now you're not having success, but you think, well, this is what the National Hockey League is all about. Bad habits. So he's got, yes, they have experience, but some of those experiences he's going to want to break them of. So a little bit of an advantage and a disadvantage as well.
And on the flip side, don't forget this. If a Detroit Red Wing player scores a hat trick tonight, you can bring a copy of the scoring summary to a participating Arby's location tomorrow for a free small order of curly fries. And you can find the scoring summary in your newspaper or on the Red Wings page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Now, the Oilers will also have a new face on their top line tonight alongside Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall. He's a local kid. Maybe you know him. Andrew Miller is his name. Our John Keating caught up with him earlier today. Keats?
I grew up watching them and watching a lot of their players go through the system. And they've had obviously some phenomenal players, and playing against the hometown team is always great, and a lot of friends there who are still fans, so I'd like to... it's fun. They get involved too. So
when you get called up, is one of your first moves to check the schedule to see who you're going to be playing against in your first game back?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't know if you're going to be in the lineup or not. But my coach in the AHL, Jerry Fleming, just told me that against Detroit, and get out of here and get on the flight and get up there and get to practice. So obviously, it's fun to play hometown team.
How much fun is that? There's really no time to think or get nervous or anything. Just go.
It's like, congratulations, get out of here. Catch your flight and don't be late for practice.
But he's going to play with a couple of top players we just talked about alongside Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall.
Yeah, 2 first overall high draft picks that we saw in that other graphic. And on the other side, Andrew Miller, local boy, Mr. Hockey in Michigan 2007 for Cranbrook, won a title with Yale as the captain. He's taken the long road. He's 27 years old and has 9 games of NHL experience. So he has gone every step of the way, 21-year-old freshman at Yale. So he took the long path to the National Hockey League, exactly the opposite of what's happened typically in Edmonton. but he led their AHL team in scoring last year. They really like his game. He might be a perfect fit.
They must like his game because you don't put him with two players like that first night out unless you've got the ability to play with those guys.
We've been talking about it all night, though. You put players in a position where they're successful. You don't call up an offensive player and play him on the fourth line. That doesn't do anybody any good. So I really give the Edmonton Oilers, again, another glimpse that they're doing things better. You bring up an offensive player like Andrew Miller, you put him in an offensive situation. He goes right to the top line. That's what it's supposed to be. If you can't create in your game, which is an offensive game, well, guess what? Then you are an AHL player. He has a chance to prove he's an NHL player tonight.
So we've seen some high-end offensive talent on this Edmonton side of things. How do the Wings defend that tonight and stop this two-game skid they're on right now?
I think what they have talked about, you heard Tatar talk with Keith, win some one-on-one battles, own the puck a little bit more. It really starts in the face-off circle. We talked about it in Red Wings Live. Analytics, own the puck off the face-off in both zones so you don't have to defend as much. You don't want to spend much time against those young, skilled players right there.
Transition game's going to be huge tonight in a game like this, isn't it?
It is, and that's one of the things that under Jeff Blashill, he wants the puck to get up quicker from the D to the forwards, not spend so much time looking, hunting, pecking, trying to find the route. Get it to them, get going up ice, play north-south.
Should be a really good game. We're looking forward to the call of the action. Ken Daniels and Chris Osgood, who's back home in Edmonton, are on the call. Should be a whole lot of fun as we take you back there now for Puck Drop, guys.
Thank you, Trevor. Hello again, everybody. Red Wings and Oilers opened this building for NHL hockey October 13th of '79. Mike Foligno scored his first NHL goal that night in a 3-3 tie. 36 years later, no ties and a last visit. Your goaltenders are brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and the guy who picked up his first NHL win against the Red Wings and a guy who picked up his first NHL shutout against Edmonton. Peter Mrazek faced 14 shots that night in victory. And Cam Talbot, who came over from the New York Rangers for a second, a third, and a late-round pick this past June after the 28-year-old excelled last season with the Rangers in for injured Henrik Lundqvist. Thomas Tatar started slowly last season. He had just 1 point. It was a goal his first 9 games. He has no goals the first 5 games this season. Has 5 shots on goal. You heard him speak with John Keating in our open tonight off the top of the broadcast. He needs to get going. He'll have a different centerman tonight in Riley Sheahan, as Brad Richards and Tatar didn't carry over the chemistry, Chris, that they had in training camp, and Jeff Blashill has got the bingo balls out.
Well, it's hard to in training camp, especially playing a lot of home games. The visiting team doesn't bring a lot of players. They have that chemistry in the exhibition season. Now moving on to the regular season, you're playing against some top performers in the National Hockey League. They just haven't been able to find that rhythm yet. But tonight you have Sheahan playing the old line with Tatar and Nyquist. They've been great together.
The referees tonight, Kyle Raymond and Dan O'Rourke. The Edmonton Oilers in their copper and blue home jerseys. The Red Wings are traditional red and white on the road as it's flipped in by Nyquist. And we got our first play offside, just 12 seconds into this game. And the new head coach, after leaving San Jose, got out of his contract with 1 year remaining, needed a change. And the Edmonton Oilers got themselves a great one, a former Red Wings assistant coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the difference from his coaching style from San Jose to here is he's going to have to teach a lot more than he did in San Jose, who had a veteran team with Thornton and Marleau. Here at Edmonton, a lot of great young talent. Todd will have to be very patient, which he is. That's one of his fortes as a head coach. He fits in great to what the Edmonton Oilers are doing here.
7 years in San Jose, 2 times President Trophy, and 2 times Western Conference finalists for the Sharks, who just couldn't get over the hump. Off to a great start this year they are. The Edmonton Oilers off to a 2-4 start. They've won their last 2 games as Quincy put it in front of the goal, and the Oilers will slap it back out. They've solidified their goaltending with Cam Talbot. They've been last in the National Hockey League in goals against the past 2 years, so that's been a problem for them. But better so far this year, as Peter Mrazek will play that puck ahead out at center ice for Tatar as the Red Wings are in the midst of a change. Over the boards comes Henrik Zetterberg along with Justin Abdelkader and Dylan Larkin. As Kindle has it. Flipped one ahead for Zetterberg, too far. They say no icing. First on that puck, the speedy Larkin centered one. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins able to move it away. Jonathan Ericsson able to keep it in and gets it back at the line. Wrist shot in, deflected, knocked down in front of the goal. And a trailing Larkin had an opportunity. Another shot went off his skate as Taylor Hall moved that puck quickly and then gets it back. Number 4, Taylor Hall into the Red Wing zone, driven hard to the boards by Jonathan Ericsson. Tried to center, taken away by Kronwall. Out there is Andrew Miller, number 58 for Edmonton, whom you heard Darren Elliott speak of, and Miller's back to get it. He went to high school at Cranbrook and was captain at Yale. Their championship, they won a national championship when he was at Yale. Puck knocked down at center. Here come the Oilers. It's Nail Yakupov, whose agent Igor Larionov was in the building today. There's a shot that got blocked. Yakupov another one, turned aside by Mrazek, and then knocked off stride. Benoit Pouliot was knocked down to the ice. As the Red Wings try to get it out, and in a second attempt they will. Ferraro busting through here with the other Andrew Miller in this game. Red Wings number 20, Drew Miller, as it's back of the net. Interesting that Drew does not know Andrew of Edmonton. Amazing, a Miller playing hockey wasn't born in East Lansing. Polkinen over the boards now with Darren Helm, along with Brad Richards, as the puck on Kindle's stick over for his defense partner Quincy. Ahead for Teemu Polkinen. In behind Talbot, who plays that puck well, sent it off his own defenseman Andrei Sekera. As the Oilers backhanded out to center off Anton Slepyshev. Slepyshev wearing number 42 for the Oilers. Former third-round pick. Going back to get it is Darren Helm for the Red Wings. Kindle with his head up, a long stretch pass tipped by Helm off the glove of Andrei Sekera, who went from Carolina to Los Angeles last February and was acquired by the Oilers for a first-round pick last June to help stabilize their blue line. The high-priced Nikita Nikitin didn't work, and he's in the American Hockey League. And a save there by Mrazek, and the face-off coming up to his left. While the Detroit Red Wings shots per game, fewest in the NHL, Chris, 21.4. But their 5-on-5 shooting percentage, when they get their shots in, making the most of them, 12.5 to lead the league.
That's another crazy step, but I'm sure Jeff Blashill isn't happy with just generating 21 shots a game. You go into Montreal against Carey Price and get that. You're lucky to get one. They want to generate upwards of 30 shots here tonight against the Edmonton Oilers team that does give up some shots each game, averaging 33 against the game.
Zetterberg against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, along with Andrew Miller and Taylor Hall. Kept in at the line. The shot went off a leg. Sent back in by Klefbom. Kronwall delayed as it hit a stick and came right in front. The play was the right one by Kronwall, then didn't work. Larkin way offside. And this will come all the way back down and be an icing against Detroit.
Anders Zetterberg, who's been great offensively all year long, makes a great play defensively, comes back with a diving play. Very heads-up play by Zetterberg here. He notices the turnover, makes a great play. Battling effort just to get tip of the stick on that and knock that out of harm's way.
Zetterberg won that draw cleanly. That's another area where the Red Wings want to improve upon. The face-off department, which is 46%. Bottom 5 in the NHL in face-offs. They are missing Pavel Datsyuk, and Darren Helm hasn't taken many and hasn't been a part of it all the way either.
And the Red Wings have been known as a puck possession team, and this year they just haven't possessed it enough. And that has to do with face-offs. They've really struggled in the dot this season. They got to really, you see them after practice, Tony Granato working on it, trying to get better. Only 5 games in, lots of time, but I'm sure as we go along, the Wings will improve on that stat.
The Oilers get that one. And again, it is the offensive team this year that has the advantage on face-offs in all zones, as they get to put their stick down second. Larkin with the intercept as Kronwall moved it to Abdelkader. Larkin flying up through the middle. Abdelkader carries in for Dylan Larkin. Glendening out there now for the Red Wings, who are in the midst of a change. The puck in the Edmonton zone, as Hall was bumped there by Glendening. And the Oilers will set up. Tipped by Taylor Hall. One of those 4 first overall picks in this Edmonton lineup, all first overall in 2010. Klinkhammer, number 12 out there for the Edmonton Oilers.
He was the one who collided with Johan Franzen in mid-ice last January that pushed Franzen and to where he is at this stage, not sure about his future. After another concussion from that Klinghammer hit. Mike Green went off a skate. The Oilers able to keep it in. Andrew Ference, saved by Mrazek from the former Edmonton Oilers captain, making just his second appearance this season. Andrew Ference, the 36-year-old blue liner.
A nice save here by Mrazek, but this comes off a turnover by the Red Wings once again. A nice save here and able to corral the rebound, but the Wings way too many turnovers the last couple of games. Trying to improve on that, and we turn the puck over. Just see what happens here. Where the Red Wings able to take care of the front of the net, but Mrazek doing a nice job to get that leg pad on. And not only that, finds that rebound.
So Connor McDavid on this face-off against Riley Sheahan. That's part of a group effort there off the draw. It's another thing Jeff Blashill was saying about face-offs, not just an individual stat, but also a group effort to try to win it. Where the wingers come in and have to get those loose pucks.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways you can win a draw, and the team will get together sometime with the center and figure that out. The Wings really got to be vigilant tonight here and make sure they're sharp in the face-off circle.
McDavid, number 97, Yakupov, number 10, and Benoit Pouliot, number 67. So 2 first overall picks. With a 4th overall as Mrazek made the save, the net popped up. It looked like a harmless play and nearly turned into something.
The Red Wings with a turnover at the blue line by Tatar again. He's got to be sharper with the puck. They're giving up an opportunity to the Oilers there. Mrazek good again.
There's McDavid. Taylor Hall will carry ahead. And a right wing feed. Look for the puck back as Andrew Miller sent it his way. Miller distributes that puck well, and you know Taylor Hall, he wants that puck in his stick. Pulkkinen coming off the bench collided and with Green. And we'll get a stop in play.
Detroit bench minor coming, too many men on the ice.
And that was a change where that's exactly why there was too many men on the ice after the collision. That's the 3rd Red Wings too many men on the ice penalty in 6 games this season.
A little discombobulated there on the bench for the Red Wings. Getting that coming off the ice here, you got to give your player enough time right here to get off the ice. He's not given that amount of time. Red Wings touching the puck much too early. Oilers on the power play.
Edmonton power play at 15%. Taylor Hall missed it there. Schultz at the line, spins with it. Giving it to Teddy Purcell. For Taylor Hall. Going wide. Shot saved by Mrazek. Great stop there on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins by Peter Mrazek.
Well, great save by Mrazek, but the Red Wings got to make sure on the penalty kill. You do not want this puck to go right through the seam. This is a seam pass by Hall. Miller's got to make sure that puck doesn't get through. Mrazek does a great job realizing he's got a little traffic in front of the net here. He comes right out of the blue paint, sharp, glove up high, great save.
Riley Sheahan and Anton Lander on this faceoff. Nugent-Hopkins able to get it back to the line. That went wide of the net, too far for Purcell. The speedy Darren Helm trying to get out there. Red Wings have killed 16 of 20 penalties this season. Averaging 4 per game, still too many for Jeff Blashill. Wants to cut that to 3. The more penalty killing time on ice hurts the top players. Saved by Mrazek and a big collision into the goal. Going in heavily was Taylor Hall, who's never one to shy away from going to the front of the net. He was helped in there too.
Yeah, long stretch pass, and the Wings aren't going to want to give up that pass too many times. And nice save here. And Quincy doing a great job going hard to the net, making sure that if that pass comes across, Hall has no chance to get his stick on it. Mrazek realizing that nice read by Mrazek to stay tight on that short side, making a shoulder save.
Mark Letestu, Pouliot on his left, Yakupov from the right. And now McDavid will come in for Letestu and Andrei Sekera at the left point. Glendening on the draw for the Red Wings, moved it where there wasn't a point man, but Sekera got over. Glendening and Miller on the penalty kill for Detroit. McDavid back in front. That didn't work. Shot there was blocked. It comes to Mark Letestu signed as a free agent last July. And cleared by Jonathan Ericsson down the ice.
Not only a nice block by Glendening, but a nice 50-50 puck battle victory on him by the boards. And Ericsson did a nice job to support him and get that puck down the ice.
Offside. Nail Yakupov brought it in. First overall pick from 2012, playing his 199th game here tonight, and they're trying to teach this young man the defensive part of the game where he's really struggled to find his way.
And really, if you date back when he first was drafted by Oilers, the coach, Dallas Aikens, who was here, was really hard on him. And he's a young player. He's learning. And it's the same thing for McDavid. He's 18. Yes, he's ultra-talented. NHL is a tough league. And you have to learn how to play without the puck. And Yakupov couldn't do that. And it's hard to do that when you're getting yelled at and you lose your confidence. That's what happened to him. You can really tell under Todd McLellan that he's really flourishing.
Here's McDavid with that terrific speed. And a good clear there by Jonathan Ericsson with 20 seconds remaining in the Edmonton power play. At center for Klefbom. Penalty is over. Pokinen out of the box. And no icing. So the Oilers go back to get it. There's Eric Gryba, who was acquired in a trade from Ottawa. Peter Chiarelli's first deal when he came over from Boston as general manager of the Edmonton Oilers. When we come back, some rookies dominating their part in the NHL this season. A couple of young men who've been playing against one another for the last 6 years or so, and both have a lot of respect for one another. Dylan Larkin and Connor McDavid. Let's take a look at the Ace Hardware Ace watch. And two Arizona players, Max Domi, Anthony Duclair, right up there, along with the Chicago Blackhawks, Panarin, and Larkin and McDavid.
And obviously Max Domi didn't get his father's hands.
No.
He's got some great hands. Wow, what a great young player. Duclair, a nice trade by Arizona to get him from the Rangers.
Pouliot pressed there by Green, turned over. Pokinen on his backhand, got it on his forehand back to Kindle and just went wide. You know, if Pokinen's on his backhand, chances are he's not going to shoot. And we've got a penalty coming here for interference. Eric Gryba, the big defenseman for Todd McLellan, makes his way to the box.
Yeah, Gryba just a little bit too aggressive here by his goaltender.
Edmonton penalty number 62, 2 minutes for interference.
Pushing down Helm, and that's a dangerous play. Push them into your goaltender like that. Causes many of injury. But just prior to that, Pokinen had the opportunity just to put the puck in the net. And when you have 0 shots on net, but you do have the traffic with Helm, any puck on net is dangerous. And Red Wings are going to make sure on this power play that they get shots through to the goaltender, Talbot.
Red Wings win that faceoff as Zetterberg shoots one. Talbot trying to find it. He couldn't. Zetterberg's got it again. Tried to bank one in off Talbot or get something out front. Red Wings bell tire power play. 2 for 13 on the season. Abdelkader has one of those goals along with Nyquist. And both are out there now. Nyquist with it. Back in front. It was blocked. Gus Nyquist for the line to Kronwall. Now to Zetterberg. Across to Nyquist off the goal post. He sent that one in quickly. Zetterberg for Nyquist again. Sticks in the lane though, but he recovers. Gus Nyquist turns in back of the net. For Zetterberg back in front. Redirected, and Talbot able to find that.
And this is just a great setup by the wing. Zetterberg, obviously a great passer. Nice saucer pass across. Nyquist got quite a bit on that. Beat Talbot, but off the crossbar. We mentioned the Wings had to start getting some shots, and Zetterberg leave it up to the veteran to start throwing pucks in. Look what this creates. Creates opportunity. He gets it back. It turns the Edmonton defenseman. Can't find the puck, and they got another opportunity off that.
On 13 faceoffs, the Red Wings have won 10 tonight, so they're much better in that department. Means puck possession, and they have it here with the man advantage. Riley Sheahan. Richards waits. Polkin into the slot. Tatar near side, but it's off Mike Green's stick and bounces back into the Red Wing zone. Richards will turn back with it. Richards into the Edmonton zone here for Teemu Pulkkinen. Swings it back for Green. For Tatar. Green one-timer. Oh, and just skipped past the post as it changed direction in front of the Green shot. And that bounced into the Edmonton bench and back into play. So he will get a face-off coming up back in the Oiler.
Yeah, and I was about to say prior to this, because Shane was in front of that Tatar's shooting. Shane doing a great job. It ricocheted around like a pinball machine there. Green getting this puck through. And so he said before, if you're not getting a lot of shots on net, shoot as many pucks as you can. Sure enough, again, deflected 2 times, almost a goal for the Wings.
The last 3 games, the Red Wings total have been outshot 124 to 61. So yes, they need shots.
And we've never, ever said that over the last couple of seasons.
No. Outshot tonight, but the Oiler power play had a couple early going. Klefbom carries up ice. Good young defenseman, 19th overall pick in 2011. Not a first overall, but still 19th, pretty good. Back at center here for Kronwall. As that's called at the Edmonton line. Well, we should always be as lucky in the lottery as the Edmonton Oilers have been. We only wish. We'll discuss that when we come back. Well, on this list of first overall picks, McDavid, Yakupov, Nugent Hopkins, Taylor Hall. Then you've got Klefbom, you've got Eberle, you've got Darnell Nurse, who went 7th overall. Leon Draisaitl's in the American Hockey League, went 4th overall. You built through the draft, right?
Imagine having all those picks, and you can see why the fan base is a little upset. They haven't been good, haven't even been close to making the playoffs, have been out by Christmas each of the last 2 seasons. They're looking for big things here. Getting McDavid will certainly help that. So far, 2-4. This year, not a great start, but they look a lot better than they have in the past.
Jordan Eberle injured, still probably a month away, and he had 62 points to lead Edmonton last year. Oh, Mrazek the save! Couldn't find the rebound, but no harm done there, and we've got a penalty coming. Holding indicated by Dan O'Rourke. It'll be against Detroit.
Calling number 20, holding.
So Drew Miller, one of the Red Wings' key penalty killers. Well, they'll argue the call, but I guess any player will always argue a call when you go to the box.
None of the Red Wings seem to have known where the hold was, and Miller didn't seem too happy when he went off here. Just on the back check here, barely really hit McDavid, and maybe you get those calls when you're a first overall pick, Ken.
I guess.
So far, he's getting that respect that very few players get at a young age.
Wow. Okay. Taylor Hall, saved by Mrazek. I think Mickey's still at home yelling.
Oh, you can definitely see why Miller had a beef with that, really not even realizing the call was on him until the ref pointed him out. And you can see what he's complaining about.
Taylor Hall, who leads the Oiler forwards in time on ice. This will go down as Talbot will leave it. So a second Oiler power play in this game. 2 of their 7 shots on goal came on their first one. In for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins, who was very good last year, took some big strides. Cleared ahead smartly there by Danny DeKeyser ahead for Justin Abdelkader, who will turn back. Glendening will go off, and on will come Landon Ferraro.
DeKeyser made 2 or 3 great plays, heads-up plays, passes to the middle of the ice, enabling the Red Wings to get that puck down. While for a young man, this kid is a very headsy player.
Nail Yakupov. Put it in front, scores! Letestu!
Well, this play kind of is slow to develop off the rush here, and Yakupov just finds himself a little bit more room than he expected, and Letestu gets body position on Eriksson, kind of like the goal in Carolina when Gerby got inside of Eriksson, who could be a little bit more aggressive on this play, but Letestu just gets that body position, gets wide open in front of Mrazek, who has no chance, and Yakupov just throws it in there, and he just tips it into the open net. But you'd love the Red Wings to be a little bit more aggressive on that penalty killer. Far too easy entry for the Oilers, and far too easy in front of the net for the Oilers to put that puck into the net.
Mark Letestu, the former Columbus Blue Jacket, the only winless team this year in the NHL. He gives Edmonton a lead here, as this will be icing against the Oilers.
The goal coming at 12 minutes, 32 seconds. The Oilers scoring a power play by Letestu.
They were showing what the Red Wings did well on their penalty kill prior to the Letestu goal. Being aggressive, getting after the Oilers power play, sitting back a bit too much on that last goal by Letestu.
Here's Kindle. For Sheahan, back for Jakob Kindle. Tipped down by the Oilers into their own zone as Talbot will move it. Talbot for Sekera. Not boxed out by Nyquist, who's got it now to the front of the goal. Nyquist's shot was blocked as Sekera stayed with him. Feeds one in for Tatar, who gathers it. Tatar back of the net trying to spin away from Mark Fane, the former New Jersey Devil. Good defenseman for Edmonton. Nice play by Tatar to the line for DeKeyser to Green, and a shot in front. It's loose! And Gus Nyquist couldn't get a shot away. And it's flipped past DeKeyser and down for Green.
The Red Wings, who only have 2 shots up to this point, with just over 6 minutes in the first period, would have wished that Nyquist could have got a stick on that and tested Talbot, who really has been in a rocking chair this entire first period.
Boy, Red Wings nearly had too many men again. As Quincy thought Green was coming, he wasn't. Now Green's got the puck. Red Wings know last year they had too many men on the ice penalty, and 3 this year, up among the league leaders already. In this, the Red Wings' 6th game, a 3-2 record coming into play tonight. The Oilers 2-4 as Talbot is out there. The Oilers coming off consecutive wins over Calgary and Vancouver. 2 wins against the Pacific Division by Edmonton. All of last season, they only won 1 game against the Pacific. Zetterberg a shot, and that is stopped by Talbot. Great opportunity there for Henrik Zetterberg as the Red Wings look to continue their domination over the Oilers in this building. More on that when we come back.
This game break is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Maple Leafs and Sabres in a shootout tonight. This is Matt Molson cruising in on Jonathan Bernier. Stutter step, fake, holds it, shoots, scores. Sabres win. 2-1's your final. Now, back to Edmonton.
Thank you, Trevor. Well, Hanson's brings you the report card on how the Red Wings have dominated in Rexall Place and Northlands Coliseum before that. They'll be moving into a new building next season, although the Red Wings seem to like this one. Leading the all-time series, as you can see, they've got at least a point in 29 of the last 30 games they played against the Edmonton Oilers.
That's a result. Red Wings always do play well here, and that's been dating back a lot of years, but Edmonton just hasn't had a lot of good teams on the ice most of the time in those victories for the Wings.
Just think if you weren't hurt here in 06 in the playoffs, as that's offside. And was mentioning that the Edmonton Oilers had just 1 win over a Pacific Division team last season. It came last February. You know which team they beat? San Jose and Todd McClellan. This season, Todd's team already 2 wins over the Pacific, so they're ahead of the game.
He's got some familiarity with all those teams, and Todd's a very relaxed, very down-to-earth coach. He's not a yeller, not a screamer, very good teacher, and that's exactly what these young Edmonton Oilers needed at this junction of not their rebuild, but just putting together a team that's capable of making the playoffs.
A reminder to get to the Joe Tuesday, October 27th to see the Wings battle the Hurricanes. $67 fan pack still available. Plus, every fan gets a team wall calendar presented by Fox Sports Detroit. For tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com. Mike Green on defense with Danny DeKeyser. Chipped through by Ferraro, who's out with Miller and Glendening. Glendening's got it as Talbot couldn't corral it back there. Drew Miller to the line for DeKeyser, now to Green. The Oilers doing a good job of getting in the path of the shooting lane. Ferraro coming over, back in the lineup. Did not play last game. Drew Miller in front. De Kaiser. He got bumped by Anton Slepyshev. Right in front and a shot just wide. An opportunity there for Green. Oh, Miller blew a tire. As the Oilers will dump it down, Rob Klinkhammer going after it. Klinkhammer came with a first-round pick from Pittsburgh in the David Perron deal. 4 to go in period number 1. Taylor Hall trying to draw a penalty, went down easily. Fans thought there should have been one, but the two officials that matter didn't. Zetterberg getting it ahead. Dumped there is Kronwall by Hall. Well, now he's going. Hall saying he dove. Kronwall saying, no, I didn't. Taylor Hall probably upset the previous one that wasn't called. The Red Wings going to a power play.
Well, really, it's Justice Hall could have been called for diving previous on Eriksson. Another great pass by Zetterberg here right up the seam, hitting Kronwall in stride. Hall obviously gets his stick tangled up in Kronwall's skates and nullifies a scoring chance that the Red Wings would have definitely had and are looking for. But would have been one of the few, but this is a big power play here for the Wings. 3:47 left. Haven't generated a heck of a lot. Need to do that here.
So Richards will begin, but not in the face-off circle. The luxury of having two centermen, Riley Sheahan coming in, Polkinen on the right. Tatar on the right side. Mike Green feeds one off for Richards. A shot and a glove save by Cam Talbot. What do you think of Cam Talbot?
I like him a lot. Watched him play for the Rangers last year when Lundqvist was hurt. Did a great job. Very poised. Doesn't move a lot. He's a big goalie. Sometimes when these goalies are younger, they're big, and he's taken the long road to the National Hockey League, so he's had some tough times, strong mentally, but really learned to play the game. Very good positionally. Right there he saw through traffic, found the puck, not moving a lot, caught that puck through traffic.
One of those goaltenders like Mrazek, game day, no problem. You can talk all morning long. Some goaltenders won't. Mrazek kicked that one out with purpose, right for Tatar. Here's Polkinen. Tried to pull it back, couldn't. And the Oilers on a second try will get it down.
Red Wings just having trouble generating anything on this power play right now. Should probably think about simplifying it, getting pucks back to the point. They have either Abdelkader or Sheahan in front of that. Got to use those guys. Try and get a bounce. Try and get a lucky goal or a fluke goal here. Get themselves on the board.
Zetterberg weaving his way into the zone. Too much traffic. Larkin over the boards now. Kronwall gives him the puck. There's Larkin firing, and again the glove of Cam Talbot.
Wow, that was an impressive save. This morning, really in awe at how big these goaltenders for Edmonton were, and Talbot stands at 6'4" in the net, probably 6'6", but Larkin comes flying in here, and this is a great glove save. And once again, the net front presence by the Red Wings makes this save even more impressive, and a rocket shot by Larkin, but Talbot using his size to look around, Abdelkader finding that puck and snaring it with his glove.
Face-off win there to the corner by Edmonton. Just their 6th face-off win this period. Red Wings was 17. Nyquist, Kronwall across, Zetterberg to Larkin. Checked immediately, though, by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And down the ice. Zetterberg turns with it. Todd McClellan singing his praises this morning about Henrik Zetterberg, whom he had in his time in Detroit. What a great player he is, and when he's healthy, how wonderful even at his age. And then Todd finished by saying, I hope he's sick tonight. But he's not, as Nyquist getting into the zone, but couldn't get through 3 Oilers, and Edmonton able to clear.
Yeah, Nyquist might want to kick that out to either his wingers, just get it to the boards, get it to space where the Wings could skate into it. 4 Oilers converging on him there, couldn't make the play quick enough.
As the Red Wing power play will come to its conclusion as Taylor Hall's out of the box. So 0 for 2. 3 shots on those 2 power plays for the Red Wings. Long stretch pass tip from across center by Helm. Maybe not. He must have missed it because they're saying it's icy. Well, stay tuned to Red Wings Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Red Wings player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
Hey, Ken, the one thing I've noticed so far in this game, penalty kill for the Oilers much more aggressive than it has been in the past under Todd McLellan. Third in the NHL, the Oilers always struggled on the penalty kill before. So far, it looked like they've changed that. Much more aggressive and a really good penalty kill by the Oilers again.
Played by Kindle, smartly to Glendening. Helm couldn't get through with the line turning as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Andrew Miller going after it, number 58 for the Oilers, native of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, who had some chemistry with Taylor Hall late last season, did Andrew Miller. Nice move by Taylor Hall in tight quarters. And the Red Wings break away. Here comes Helm with Drew Miller going to the goal. Ahead for Andrew Miller at center was bumped. As he was just called up from the American Hockey League, the Bakersfield Condors, the new American Hockey League affiliate for Edmonton. If they did not call up Leon Draisaitl, they wanted a right-hand shot on the wing with Taylor Hall. And that's why Miller got the call. Here's Yakupov. Up with Pouliot. The pass to him, but Pouliot was covered by Green. And a save by Mrazek off a one-timer from Andrei Sekera. 20 seconds to go in the opening period. Connor McDavid fed one over as Yakupov will turn in his own zone. Well, a dominant period in terms of shots by Edmonton. The Red Wings dominated in the face-off circle. And the Oilers, on a questionable penalty to Drew Miller, get the only goal. It's a power play goal from Mark Letestu, from Yakupov and Schultz at 12:32. Our Ram intermission report. The first round picks of the Edmonton Oilers. That and more with Darren Elliott and Trevor Thompson in our studio. The only goal of this game, Mark Letestu, power play in the first period. The only goal to beat Peter Mrazek. Last time in here, his first time in here. Our Oakland University brings you the scouting report on Peter Mrazek's first career shutout. November the 2nd of 2013, had to make just 14 saves. His 2 wins that season were both by shutout.
And so far tonight, he's already more than halfway there for saves. And really, I mean, this is what he's done tonight, but this is his shutout here. Young Mrazek here. And it doesn't matter where he's playing, what the circumstances are. Some young goalies might fold when they don't got a lot of work. Didn't have a lot of shots that night, but wow, did he ever stay sharp. And that's what made him, at a young age, the goaltender he is. He's good in each and every situation you throw him into.
Coming into the game tonight, the Red Wings shot differential at -60. An NHL low 21.4 shots per game, allowing 33.4. That's much too much of a differential. They were outshot in that first period by 6, trailed by 1. Second period is underway as Tatar moves up with Sheahan and Gus Nyquist. In here for Sheahan, quick shot, saved by Cam Talbot. Mentioned Mrazek's first shutout was against Edmonton. Talbot's first win was at Joe Louis Arena against the Red Wings.
Wow,
He's a member of the New York Rangers.
He was unbelievable in that game at Joe Louis.
That was late October of 2013. Here's Sheahan. Penalty coming here to the Oilers. As Mrazek's gone to the bench for an extra skater. De Kaiser with a wrist shot wide. Tatar hooked again. Boy, you could call another one. But I think they're only calling one. But the Red Wings will head to a Bell Tire power play.
And the Red Wings are going to be beneficiaries of a penalty to Edmonton here because they worked hard. They came out here at the start of the second period, and Coach Blashill probably told them to get more pucks to the net, and that's exactly what they did, winning 50-50 battles. And here the Edmonton defensemen really just holding on for a little bit too long here against the boards. And we'll sit for 2, but Red Wings great first shift at the start of the second period.
So Lauri Korpikoski, who had a game-winning goal Sunday at Vancouver in overtime, sits in the box. This draw won by Edmonton, but out of play. Dylan Larkin in that First period for the Red Wings played 6:18. The top line, Zetterberg played 6:24, and Justin Abdelkader 7:26. Jeff Blashill was saying that the ice time may not be distributed as evenly as he has been doing.
Yeah, through the first 5 games, he definitely did that. And tonight, going to rely on that top line, and they deserve it. They've been great this year.
Zetterberg and Larkin each with a point a game this season. Zetterberg's got it. He has more assists than any Oiler has points. Zetterberg does. Tipped in front by Abdelkader and just wide. Zetterberg, who's no longer at the top of the scoring parade, but right there amongst the leaders. Abdelkader kept it in at the line, and then it was blocked by Schultz. Came loose, given away. Nyquist back in front, but unable to get there was Zetterberg. To the line, good play by Larkin to keep it in off the shin pad of Abdelkader. Dylan Larkin left point, quickly across. Off Zetterberg's stick, who goes and gets it. Put it in front for Abdelkader again on a redirect. Nyquist to Abdelkader one more time. Kronwall for Gus Nyquist. Couldn't get a shot away. Schultz at a stick in the lane. Kronwall will shoot. Saved by Talbot. Rebound Klefbom, who was knocked off stride. And cleared by Klinkhammer down the ice.
And how do you beat an aggressive penalty killing you? You got to move the puck fast. Larkin doing a good job of zipping that across to Kronwall and the rest of the Red Wings, including Zetterberg, making good crisp passes in a hurry and beating that aggressive penalty kill by the Oilers.
Here's Tatar with Richards, Sheahan, Pokinen, and Green, who has it at the point. Gathers it in, put his shot in off the glass. Teemu Pokinen trying to turn away from Eric Ryba. Left it there for Riley Sheahan, who gets held up. Richards came in, Pokinen right point. In for Tatar, lots of time, but not that much time. Ferentz finally got a stick in there, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will kill off the rest of this Red Wing Bell Tire power play. Given away inside the line, Yakupov was dumped. Penalty coming to Detroit now. Boy, it's been a fractured game thus far.
Yeah, the boys in the stripes tonight aren't letting anything go here. A couple calls that did not seem to be penalties, but here Green was forced to jump in, did get his leg out there. That's a penalty on Yakupov. Green extending that right leg out and tripping Yakupov up after the turnover, and when you turn the puck over, you tend to panic. Green rushed in to try and take out Yakupov, extended that right leg, bringing him down. The Oilers will go on another power play here.
Anton Lander, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Taylor Hall for Edmonton, who control that face-off. Justin Schultz for Nugent-Hopkins, and no rebound. Good save by Peter Mrazek. There's a look at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who made big strides, as we mentioned last season, for the Edmonton Oilers. Another first overall pick.
Yeah, a very good player. Wearing the assistant captaincy for these Oilers, and over the last 2-3 years, they've had plenty of young player wear those A's and got their fill with a bunch of number 1 picks, as you mentioned.
190 points in 264 career games for him. Glendening gets it in. It was 7-0 in the faceoff dot in the first period, and a save there. On a good opportunity as Talbot had to come up big. Now Helms got it. Glendening goes off. Ferraro comes on. Ooh, a hit from behind as Helm was driven to the boards by Schultz. No call. Drew Miller comes over now for Helm as the Red Wings continue to kill this Edmonton power play. Schultz dropped it for Teddy Purcell. Anton Lander couldn't find it. The Kaiser spun around back there. Puck's loose. And Kyle Quincy will wrap it down the ice. Stopped by Talbot for Andrej Sekera. Lead pass for the goal scorer on the power play in this game, Mark Letestu. We got too many men on the ice to Edmonton. So the Oilers are going to be shorthanded.
Glendening is really zipping around, hounding this puck. And you got to love how he takes off here. The puck, even shorthanded, chips it to himself, a little self-chip here, but doesn't give up, continues on the forecheck and gets rewarded here. Quick backhander, and that's what size will get you. Talbot at 6'4". Gets his shoulder on that puck up, a quick turnover, another nice backhander by Glendening, but you gotta love how he skated that puck up and really pounded the Oilers into that turnover.
So 4-on-4 hockey for the time being. Connor McDavid on the face-off with Brad Richards, who's out with Thomas Tatar. Richards with it, then knocked off his stick. Sekera returns for Edmonton, and now the other way to get away from Richards. For Mark Fane. Connor McDavid with a good move, a little off balance, but kept it up along with Nail Yakupov. So the 2 first overall picks out there together of their 4. All 4 of their first overall picks scored on Saturday night against Calgary. Connor McDavid had 2 goals. Here's DeKeyser shooting and just missed on the stick side as Talbot came way out to cut that one down.
Wow, the Red Wings have missed plenty of shots, either blocked or missed opportunities on their own.
Nyquist couldn't get through. McDavid crossed the Testu off the outside of the net. Nearly at his second. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back in. That shot high and off the glass. Well, the Red Wings have had the lack of shots. Taylor Hall shooting at nearly 5 per game early on this season. Todd McCullough saying shots from anywhere are good because you get plays out of them off deflections off goaltenders. Red Wing power play here. Abdelkader in. Couldn't get it through. Larkin, good recovery. Zetterberg with Kronwall in the back end. Zetterberg a shot that was deflected. Nyquist to pick it up. Through his skates to Kronwall over to Zetterberg. Abdelkader in front. Shot was knocked down. Red Wings have to go back with 20 left. With too many men on the ice.
And eventually, we're going to have to give the Oilers some credit here. They're getting themselves in that shooting lane, blocking a ton of the Red Wings shots right now. They're really finding it hard to get pucks through to Talbot.
Look at Kindle coming right in, and Talbot a save there and a nice rush by the Red Wing defenseman.
One of the reasons McDavid, such a wonderful player, obviously first overall, speed, agility, and his vision. He's a great playmaker here, sets up with Testu, just misses his second of the game, but Mrazek did a great job to get across. But look at this pass, 18 years old, making these plays at National Hockey League. The Red Wings really, just like last game, too many turnovers, especially at the blue line here. Tatar's got to make the smart play with that puck here, and usually when you turn a puck over, it's going to turn into a scoring chance, and Edmonton did just that on all of these plays, and here they're off for the races again. Just a smarter play by Detroit in their own zone, and this is dangerous, although it doesn't result in a shot. It results in an opportunity for Edmonton,
who kill off the rest of the Red Wing man advantage. And the turnovers, the reason why Jeff Blashill says on average the Red Wings have been spending nearly a minute each game in their own defensive zone. Sometimes 2 of the games up to 3 minutes in their own zone. And that's a lot of time. It tires people out. Brought back in here by Pouliot. Right through the middle. Scores! What a great pass! Connor McDavid. You see those nifty hands right there.
Well, Connor McDavid just beat Richards to the Detroit net. Out-muscled him. The speed of the young player, Richards just couldn't handle. The play at the blue line here, Kindle does a nice job trying to stand up, but wasn't able to do so, and Pouliot throws it across, and McDavid just too much for Richards to handle, really. Up in the high slot from the top of the circles in, just got body position in with the speed here, Pouliot. Beat Richards just prior to the top of the circles. McDavid did and went in and made a nifty move on Mrazek, who didn't have much of an opportunity on a great move by the first overall pick.
He got a standing ovation here from the crowd with his first home goal for Connor McDavid. So the Red Wings down by 2. It's off to the races with Nyquist when we come back. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Windsor, Ontario horse owner Paul Redeman, 2012, at a horse called I'll Have Another, which won the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown and names many in his stable after Red Wings. And Nyquist, an undefeated 2-year-old colt, will race October 31st in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Gus Nyquist, the player, thinks it's exciting. He'll definitely be watching. And apparently Nyquist, the horse, could become a 2016 Triple Crown threat. And Paul Redham also has a couple of other 2-year-olds in Tatar and Mrazek still waiting to run. So should be interesting, as is this rush here by the Oilers. Purcell right in. Save Mrazek, rebound, they score! Well, at the completion of that story, the Oilers were off to the races in their own right.
Well, this is an unfortunate break for Quincy as it goes off the skate. But this starts once again at the blue line. DeKeyser goes in to try and keep that puck in, and the Oilers do a great job at turning that puck over. And then a quick nifty pass again on a 2-on-1. Good save by Mrazek, and unfortunate for Quincy, who's doing everything he can on that back check to try and pick up that Oilers forward. Inadvertently goes off his skate and past Mrazek into the net. A bad break for the Red Wings, but the same thing again as it has been all night. Haven't turned over as much as they have in the previous 2 games, but when they have here tonight, they've created some opportunity for Edmonton, and they've made good on the majority of them.
And that's unfortunate for Kyle Quincy. 2 games in a row now. It was in Montreal when he went to clear it, went off Gallagher's skate, who Brendan Gallagher said he actually stepped on the puck, and that's why it went in as Quincy tried to clear it.
And I get what the Red Wings are doing. They haven't generated a lot of shots, a lot of offense here of late, so they're trying to jump in, trying to create opportunities while not turning pucks over. And right there, Danny DeKeyser jumped in, trying to create an opportunity for his club. And the Oilers did a good job of creating that turnover and then making good on it.
Anton Lander will get credit for the goal from Teddy Purcell and Lori Korpikoski. 7:04 of the second period to make it 3-0. First Edmonton goal on a power play in the first from Letestu. Then Connor McDavid, his first goal at home as an Edmonton Oiler made it 2-0. And now this one from Anton Lander. 3-0 as Talbot blocked that one. And where in the past a 3-0 Edmonton lead, you'd still be wondering, but much tougher now with the likes of Cam Talbot in goal, which has solidified their back end for Edmonton.
And Todd McCullum behind the bench, who knows how to coach a young team. They're way more structured than I've seen in the last 2-3 seasons. Tougher to get through neutrals on them. Much better team in their own zone. Yes, they do have better goaltending, but they're not giving up those quality opportunities that they have in the past. Tough team to play against now.
Oilers have won their last 2 games, 2-4 out of the gate, including the record this season. 3-14-2 out of the gate combined the past 3 seasons. So a much better start this year for sure for the Edmonton Oilers, and a good start in the first half of this game for them tonight. While Saturday, it's a full day of college football across the Fox networks, highlighted by a Pac-12 showdown on Fox. Third-ranked Utah takes on a USC team looking to get their season back on track. It's all Saturday on FS1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Turning is Andrew Miller, number 58 for Edmonton. Klinkhammer, Letestu tried to center. Rob Klinkhammer back of the net. Stays with it. Angled one to the line here for Gryba. And a save by Mrazek. Eric Gryba. Then it's knocked down by Sheahan. Nyquist moving up. Good reach by Gryba, who has that reach. Able to knock that away as Nyquist is trying to get through. Loose puck for Riley Sheahan. Tipped by Nyquist. To the far side goes Eriksson. Nyquist back of the net. Andrew Ferentz trying to contain him. Nyquist getting away from him for Tatar. Then turned around by his number 21 counterpart. Kept in here at the line by Kronwall. For Sheahan. Tatar now gives chase and has it. Finds Kronwall off the leg of Ferentz. Back for Tatar again. Too hot off his stick. Taken by Anton Slepyshev. Third round pick in 2013. That came up and bounced not once but twice off Glendening. One may have got him in the face. Off the bench for Nail Yakupov. Mrazek pushed it back out to the line for Fane. Blocked by Miller, who's up the middle. If Ferraro can get him the puck, he's in the clear. Drew Miller all alone. Oh, and just sent it wide. A little reach there maybe pulled him off stride with a free hand. And a good opportunity to get the Red Wings on the board for Drew Miller.
Yeah, nice opportunity for Miller there in the breakaway, but the Oilers not allowing any easy opportunities on their net tonight. Really, that back check by the Oilers was great. Not letting Miller have a lot of comfort level and able to do what he wanted with that puck.
Here's a break in again. And Pouliot had the opportunity there. He could have walked right in. Taylor Hall moved up on Kindle. Loose puck. Larkin speed. Trying to get through, but Schultz took it away. Former Anaheim second-round pick who never signed with the Ducks. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Abdelkader. Larkin open again. And that one knocked away as Larkin is offside. So we'll get a stop in play. Well, two Millers in this game, one named Drew, one named Andrew. We'll look at the Oilers side of things in a moment. There is Bloomfield Hills, Michigan native Andrew Miller, who played for Andy Weidenbach at Cranbrook, where his dad, Andrew's dad, is Dean of Admissions. We asked Andrew this morning, what's your goal tonight? He said, to score a goal with somebody else on the ice with me. Why? Because his lone NHL goal on March 27th last season against Dallas was on a penalty shot. Andy Weidenbach happened to say that Andrew Miller is one of those kids who didn't listen to all the people that said he was too small or not strong enough to make it beyond high school at Cranbrook. He just became more determined, became a captain at Yale, and won a national championship.
And good for him. To me, that goal's tougher than a 5-on-5 goal.
You think?
There's a lot of pressure, and you're going against a pretty good goalie and letting on that. And wow, did he ever bury that puck? Congratulations to him.
Oh, a good save there by Mrazek. And he's just called up from the American Hockey League and gets to play on the top line with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall. Some will say where Andrew Miller's playing tonight, he's just holding a spot till Jordan Eberle returns, but they've tried a lot of people in that spot until Eberle's back, and no one's really been able to get it done yet, so Andrew Miller gets an opportunity.
And there's a role for everybody on each and every team, and he seems to fit the bill for that specific role, and he's been doing a great job. Congratulations to him.
Here's Brad Richards trying to find space there against Justin Schultz. Oscar Kleppbaum for Taylor Hall. Picked up by Richards. Polkinen had no space. Brad Richards brings it in with Helm. Richards cuts to the middle. Finds Jonathan Erickson, who joins in deep. Erickson's had a few goals in this building at Rexall Place. As the puck is out of play, and another similarity besides the name to Drew Miller and Andrew Miller, how about him and Justin Abdelkader? Justin Abdelkader was Mr. Hockey in high school in 2004, and Andrew Miller was Michigan's Mr. Hockey high school at Cranbrook in 06-07. And another thing about Andrew Miller, who told me this morning, his buddy Griffin Howell, his family has season tickets. I said, what do you remember most about the Red Wings growing up? He said, sitting behind Chris Osgood at that end of the ice, right behind your blocker side in the corner, watching you play all those games.
Well, we know that blocker side was my strong side, Ken, so he's obviously sitting on the right side.
Yeah. Saved by Talbot. Loose in front of the goal. Kendall comes over to get it. Tatar. Here's Shane back of the net. Mark Fane moving in was Kindle, who got dumped. Tatar hit Kindle with the shoot-in, who stayed with it, but Lander will clear as Tatar bumps him. To the Edmonton line, taken by Sekera. Edmonton in the midst of a change. He sensed that and just fired it in. Yakupov went down. Edmonton fans wanted a penalty. Here's Ferentz with a shot that was deflected high over top of the net. As mentioned, the Red Wings and Oilers opened this building for NHL hockey back in '79. Gretzky had an assist that night. Mike Foligno scored his first National Hockey League goal in what was a 3-3 tie when you could tie a game way back when. 36 years later, We're here tonight, and next year the Oilers will be in a new building downtown. The Red Wings will follow with theirs a year later. Eric Gryba. Peter Chiarelli's first deal after he became GM. Turned over in the high slot. Shot went over top of the net. They got Gryba from Ottawa, did Edmonton, where Chiarelli used to be before he went on to be general manager in Boston. And the Bruins had to give up a third-round pick to Ottawa as compensation for signing Chiarelli, and that pick Ottawa took was Gryba. Then Chiarelli trades for Gryba when he comes to Edmonton. It comes full circle. Schultz back to get it for the Oilers. Free agent signing in 2012 by Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers started the season 0-4, beat Calgary 5-2 Saturday, and Vancouver in overtime Sunday, and lead 3-0 here tonight. Taylor Hall back of the net, pushed to the boards by Kronwall. Mike Green moved it. Hall's got it again. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was checked. In goes Andrew Miller. Sheahan threw it in front of the goal. Coughed up, turned over by Detroit. Sekera's shot. No harm done there as Green will move it. For Tatar at center. For Gus Nyquist. Back in for Tatar. Quincy missed it at the point, and Mrazek will come out and play it. Directed traffic was Polkinen, loose at center, knocked down ice by Korpikoski. Mrazek again. And he'll scoot it around for Quincy. Out at center for Helm. Here comes Brad Richards. Richards shoots. That went off the heel of the stick of Ferentz to the corner. Back of the net for Richards one more time. Angled one to the line. Quincy with a shot and a save by Cam Talbot. To the near side. Polkinen will give chase. Quincy there first. Kept in here by Polkinen. In Richards all alone in front and sent it wide. He got all turned around. It was tough for him to get a shot on goal. Polkinen with some good work to get that puck into the skates though of Eriksson. And the Oilers, who were hemmed in there, brought out here by Anton Lander. Edmonton wants a change.
Wow, even tough for Richards to get down the net, but he's by himself in front of the net. You're down 3-0. You got to figure out some way, any way, to get that puck past Talbot, or at least make him make a really tough save.
Picked up deep by Oscar Klefbom. Mrazek so good in handling that puck. To Kaiser. Jonathan Eriksson. Pushed up to center by Ferraro with Miller and Glendening. Here's Drew Miller. Tipped in behind the goal. Ferraro took his man to the boards, and Pouliot was there, and Schultz for Edmonton. Out at center for Benoit Pouliot. On the 4th overall pick of the Minnesota Wild. Henrik Zetterberg with Larkin and Abdelkader. Abdelkader to pick it up. Off Zetterberg's skate. Whacked back in deep by Kronwall. Red Wings beginning their 3-game Western Canada trip here tonight. That was stopped by Talbot. 5 of the remaining 6 games here this month will be at home for Edmonton, after 5 of their first 6 were on the road. Trevor Thompson in our studios tonight. He'll have Boston Bruin, Philadelphia Flyer highlights when we come back.
All right, fans, it's that time again.
This game break is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. OT between the Bruins and the Flyers. Philly on the power play. This is Claude Giroux with the one-timer past Tuukka Rask. 5-4 Flyers, your winner tonight. Kenny, back to you.
Thank you, Trevor. There's Andrew Ference playing in just his second game. He was the Edmonton Oilers captain, but they took the seat from him just to distribute things, and he's not going to be playing a lot this year. So they're going with 4 assistant captains: Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Andrew Ference, and Jordan Eberle, who is injured. Andrew Ference was captain for a couple of years.
Ken, what's with Todd McCullough stripping players of their captaincy? Thornton and Marleau in San Jose, exact same thing happened there.
Yeah, that's true. And now it's Joe Pavelski there. I don't think that was all his doing in San Jose. But here, a lot of people thought, will it be Connor McDavid? Not a chance. He doesn't need that.
A little
pressure.
too young for that. Much too much pressure on him already. He doesn't have to have the C on his jersey. You just go out and play and learn how to play an NHL-type style of game.
Boy, but you're right. The captaincy does follow Todd McClellan around. Yeah, that didn't help the dressing room in San Jose, but...
well, I always thought Thornton should have been the captain and stayed the captain.
Here comes Dylan Larkin with some room on the wing. Larkin the shot. And just wide of the goal. Zetterberg took it away from Klefbom. Good work by the Red Wing captain. Zetterberg still with that puck. Then Larkin, good strength on the stick to get it away from Connor McDavid. And Larkin and McDavid together. Two pretty humble hockey players, I'd say. Back in onside. Nugent-Hopkins for Taylor Hall. Loose into the slot, turning. Letestu with a try. Letestu moved it back to the line. 15 to go in the period. Came right back in. Pinballed on Mrazek, not once but twice. 7 to go in the period. One last shot here for Klefbom. Now Fane. It was blocked. And the period comes to a close. But the Oilers add 2 more goals. Well, Connor McDavid scored his first NHL goal in his 3rd game, same as Wayne Gretzky did. Connor McDavid scored his first home goal tonight in this his 2nd game, but he's had an overall good night tonight.
Yeah, he's done some great work out here tonight. Very, very shifty. The young players, tons of speed, but put that together with a skill set that's unmatched and a great set of eyes on him and hands. This guy can see the ice better than most players in this league, especially at 18. And wow, what a move. Not a single goaltender in this league would have had that. This guy is a total package and is showing us tonight why he is and was the #1 draft pick in this past draft.
And it's amazing his former junior team, the Erie Otters, are out of the gate at 9-0.
It's weird how this game works, isn't it? Unless they want to prove a point, maybe.
Right.
Congratulations to them. That's great.
And that Oilers' 3rd goal, as they're announcing here, we weren't sure whether that was a Lander goal, but Teddy Purcell got credit for that 3rd goal, his first as an Oiler. And Laurie Korpikoski and Mark Fane assisting. That made it 3-0 Edmonton. They scored at 6:34 and 7:04 at period number 2. Here's Sheahan. Had a shot blocked. And the Oilers' Anton Lander over to get it. Andrei Sekera lugs the puck in across center. Henrik Zetterberg blocked it, and will try the other way for Kronwall. For Jonathan Ericsson. Up there with Larkin and Abdelkader, in and out of the glove of Talbot. Larkin back of the net. Oh, Zetterberg was open. The puck just didn't get to him. And the Oilers' Taylor Hall trying to break free. Hall with a shot and a save by Mrazek. Klinkhammer back to the line for Oscar Klefbom. That hit Jonathan Ericsson and stung him. He's limping off. Zetterberg brings it into the Edmonton zone. Around Klefbom, his countryman. Zetterberg staying with it. Klinkhammer for Edmonton will just clear it out of play. And he's going to get a penalty. Or is he? I think he is. I think that puck went right out of play. I'll get the $67 fan pack to see the Wings take on the Ottawa Senators Friday, October 30th for Hockey Fights Cancer Night. You'll get 2 tickets, 2 food vouchers, and 2 soft drinks starting at $67. For tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com.
Red Wings came out skating in this 3rd period, and they need to do that. And really, it's all about the pressure right here. Red Wings putting some pressure on Klinkhammer, who sends it high over the glass. And Important power play here for the Red Wings. They got to make this count.
So Klinkhammer sits for 2 or less. So Richards asking, why is he being sent out? It's happened a few times tonight. Sheahan comes in on the draw, but won it anyway. Tatar tried to go through the seam. It was blocked by Letestu. As Mike Green will go back. Flipped it over for Tatar, for Green, to Pulkkinen. Tatar couldn't do it himself at the Edmonton line. Brad Richards back for Mike Green. Sheahan dropped it back. Richards there to cover at the left point, then lost it. And Lauri Korpikoski gets it down the ice. Kronwall will set up. He's got Zetterberg and Larkin. Larkin cut off by McDavid, played by Talbot. Blocked at the line by Zetterberg, but only momentarily, and then McDavid just missed it. Abdelkader fires it in. Knocked down by Nyquist. Boy, this Todd McLellan group pressures you all over the ice, even when shorthanded, don't they?
This is a totally different Edmonton Oilers team under Todd McLellan than it has been in the past years. They're tighter defensively, much better in front of their net, tougher in front of the opposition net, and really good penalty kill, really aggressive.
Here's Larkin, saved by Talbot, and he'll hold on. Well, from here, we'll head to Calgary, where the Flames out of the gate have really struggled as the Red Wings take on Yuri Hudler and company. Our coverage begins at 8:30 with Red Wings Live. That's Red Wings and Flames, Friday at 8:30 on Fox Sports Detroit. And they're missing TJ Brodie on the back end. Dougie Hamilton hasn't really settled in as quickly as they thought he would. Calgary off to a 1-5 start under Bob Hartley.
That's surprising, a team that we would all say or thought would take the next step to the next level, and they just haven't done that. They've taken actually 2-3 steps backwards and are really struggling, getting absolutely zero goaltending so far. And Bob Hartley is not going to be happy with that, but the Red Wings have to expect, not looking too far ahead, but Calgary is going to be an angry, hungry team.
Point shot by Green. With Helm right in on top of Talbot. He made the save. Pulkkinen finds Kindle. And then he bobbled it. And it came back out to center. Pulkkinen, chip of the stick in the end. Edmonton cleared it, penalty over. Out of the box, Klinkhammer, who had a shot blocked. Nice job by Mike Green. An attempt by Brad Richards on the pass was blocked. Here's Green across for Helm. Left bomb turns. Quickly for Pouliot. Number 67 for Edmonton, shoots it in. Drew Miller chipped it. Ferraro goes after it. Klefbom beat him to the puck. And the Oilers backhanded into the Red Wing end. Danny the Kaiser. Sent through by Ferraro. Drew Miller moves in on the forecheck. Sekera around to Nail Yakupov. For Taylor Hall. Mrazek will hold it for a faceoff coming up to his right.
Almost through 5 minutes here in the third period. The Red Wings probably would have loved to get a goal, put a little dent in this lead. For Edmonton have been able to, but it's not from lack of trying. Yes, they only have 19 shots up till now, but either blocked or missed shots through 2 periods. 28 times either a shot blocked or missed at the net by the Red Wings. They got to make good on those chances. Far too many misses. They got to find ways to get pucks through the Edmonton defenders and to Talbot with traffic.
Red Wings have dominated the draw tonight, but not this one. Klinkhammer taken to the boards by Kronwall. Eriksson will skate it out of trouble. Edmonton able to recover at center ice. Hall got knocked off stride. Nugent-Hopkins shooting. Short side. Stopped by Mrazek as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins went down. Here's Eriksson with it to center ice. A rink-wide pass. Tatar left it there. Sheahan a shot. Held by Talbot.
The Red Wings being shut out to this point, but not from lack of trying here to get a goal. Lots of chances. Crossbar by Nyquist. It's these type of shots that need to hit the net. Can't be happy with just getting these chances when you're struggling to get shots and goals early in the season. 30 times so far up into the 15-minute part of the third period. Have they either had a shot blocked or missed the net? That's far too many times. Everyone's got to make good on these chances if they want to get back in this hockey game.
28 attempted shots or missed shots through 40 minutes. His number 40 just sent one wide there. Applicator couldn't center it.
I wonder if that has anything to do with both these goalies being so big. You don't see a lot of the net. You try and be too fine, try and pick the corners instead of just hitting the net.
Here's Anton Lander out along with Teddy Purcell, who was the third Edmonton goal in this game. Purcell back of the net. Back for Lander, but that was intercepted as Green got a piece of it, but Edmonton with control, left bomb across. Schultz shot. Zetterberg got knocked down by Purcell. And Larkin just has to dump it to center. Applicator couldn't get it. And a hand pass, though. Cleft bomb to Schultz will result in a face-off upcoming. Well, the Red Wings are going to do something different this year at the end of January, early February. It'll be the first mother's trip for the Red Wings to Florida. Through the years,
never had that.
It's always been the dad's trip. This will be the first year where the mothers will join the Red Wings.
There's been one wife's or girlfriend's trip. I do remember that one. Went to Montreal. A lot of father's trips, and I'm sure there's going to be some disappointed fathers, let's be honest, because that's the trip of the year for a lot of those guys.
They'll get their turn down the road. Speaking of trips, we'll get a trip down memory lane with the Edmonton Oilers on the other side of this break. Edmonton Oilers with 5 cups over a 5-year span, and then one in 1990 after Wayne Gretzky was traded, and after they stopped the New York Islanders run with Denny Potvin and company, those great Islanders teams that had won 4 in a row. And the Edmonton Oilers, and we mentioned this is their last year in this building, which was then Northlands Coliseum. But as the story goes, when they lost to the Islanders the year previous to winning this cup, it was Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier who walked past the Islanders' room and saw how beat up they were with the bandages and the ice even after, and they knew they got to them. And that sort of told them the next year, gave them the impetus to say we're that close. And sure enough, they were. Oh, nice toe drag there by Pouliot. Connor McDavid couldn't get past there. And a shot in Mrazek holds as Todd McCullough juggling his lines a little bit. Moving Pouliot up with McDavid. Don't miss any of the action. Get the $67 fan pack. The Wings face off against Tampa Bay Tuesday, November 3rd. You'll get 2 tickets, 2 food vouchers, and 2 soft drinks starting at $67. For tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com. And it was the win over Tampa where the Red Wings had themselves a really good hockey game that night. And they'll meet the Lightning again.
That was a complete 60-minute effort that night for the Red Wings.
Here's Nyquist. Save Talbot, rebound, scores! They're on the board. Thomas Tatar makes it 3-1 with more than 13 to play. He gets his first goal of the season.
And that must be a relief for Tatar, who at times today has tried to do too much by himself, but here does a great job. At times in the first 2 periods, he wouldn't go to the net. Here he does and gets rewarded. Nyquist with the shot through. One of the few pucks Talbot can't corral, and Tatar does a nice job to drive the Oiler net. There's a few times earlier where he didn't go to the net, went to the corner. Here he follows the puck, goes to the goal, and gets rewarded. Jumps in that loose puck and buries it to give the Red Wings life.
He spoke with John Keating in our open tonight, and didn't seem all that concerned. As we mentioned, he had just 1 point, a goal his first 9 games a season ago. and gets his first goal to go along with 2 helpers early going this season in Game 6. Here's Tatar again. Kronwall couldn't keep it in. Shane puts it through. Nyquist gets the lone helper on the goal by Tatar to make it 3-1. Taylor Hall turned back by Nyquist.
Tatar, the assist, Nyquist at 6:49.
Taylor Hall slowly to center. Henrik Zetterberg, a rolling puck, couldn't get it. Dylan Larkin for Abdelkader. Did well just to keep control of it to center ice. Then Green will fire it in. Schultz double teamed by Larkin and Zetterberg. And Anton Lander ties up Zetterberg. And Lander's got it. Flipped it across for Klefbom. Tip past Green. Verging was to Kaiser to come over and force Edmonton offside.
Well, the Red Wings seem to be energized. 5 minutes left in the second period. They really applied some pressure to Edmonton and carried over here to the third period. They've got some good shifts, not only from the Zetterberg line, but right down the forward line, all 4 lines. Really attacking, forechecking, skating better than they have all night long.
Pouliot with McDavid and Yakupov. Oh, and shot just wide. Here's Kindle. Lead pass for Miller. With a great opportunity and alone in the second period. Not a clean breakaway, but good opportunity. Zetterberg, Larkin, and Abdelkader right back out there. Trying to find some offense. Jeff Blashill maybe shortening the bench a little bit. A race for this puck, and it'll result in an icing charge against Detroit.
Tonight's hard hits are brought to you by Timberland Pro. And Green gets involved earlier with their hit. And here's Schultz for Edmonton. Hard hit, and Quincy takes Hull hard to that here, and lone goal scorer for the Red Wings here gets involved in a little bit of a hit here. This game's been fast, and there's been some hard hits in this game, and the Red Wings are trying to figure out a way to get one more to really get some pressure on Edmonton here in the last 10 minutes of this hockey game.
Red Wings with 22 shots. As you can see, it's a little above their early season average. Sekera moved it across, long stretch pass to center and dumped in by Edmonton. Mike Green for the Red Wings. Nowhere near Polkinen. Teddy Purcell knocked it down, but on comes Green. Just onside, although didn't look it. Green carries through. Back here for Brad Richards. Shot sailed wide of the net. Purcell turns back. Polkinen moves up. Purcell another try. Backhanded by Anton Lander to center. Past the halfway point here in period number 3. Ken Daniels, Chris Osgood, John Keating with you. Taylor Hall steals inside the line. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a backhander held by Mrazek. Thomas Tatar's had a good night with his first goal. More on that when we return. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit. Presented by Bell Tire.
Welcome back. Thomas Tatar getting his first goal of the year. Had a rough night prior to getting that goal tonight, though. A few too many turnovers. Trying to do a bit too much, and when you're struggling, you're pressing a bit. You try some plays you wouldn't normally try. This guy always goes all a little bit frustrated there, but gets the goal. Let's take a look at the Ram Guts and Glory play. And it's Tatar's first of the year off the rebound off Nyquist's stick. Talbot couldn't hold it. I got the Wings on the board and gives them a chance to come back in this hockey game.
Riley Sheahan. Puck's knocked away, but Nyquist follows up. Dropped to the line for Quincy. Rebound, Sheahan. And Talbot's there again.
And that save right there, those are the saves Edmonton wasn't getting for at least the last 2 hockey seasons. Quincy with the initial shot through and a great rebound save, but Talbot's been sharp all night long. 23 saves up to this point. This guy's a big goalie. And he's had some traffic to contend with tonight here. Applicator in front of him here. That's a great glove save, tracking that puck through, and his size came into play there again on that backhander from Glendenning, but Applicator and Helm Shane have been all over him, in front of him. He hasn't had an easy night looking through traffic, but he's a big guy and he's used that size to his advantage.
The test to a blocker save made by Mrazek. Connor McDavid in there against Green. And they've added an assist to Riley Sheahan on Thomas Tatar's first, so it's Tatar from Nyquist and Sheahan. Here's Richards. For Zetterberg, cuts to the middle. Puck is loose, poked to the line, but not out, kept into Kaiser. That got blocked by Yakupov. Sent in by McDavid. Some trouble with it down low for DeKeyser. Anton Lander stood up there by DeKeyser, who got some support down low from Dylan Larkin. Into the slot, and a shot whistled just high and wide on a quick one-timer from Teddy Purcell. Elm made sure to get out of trouble. Lori Korpikoski back for Edmonton. For Purcell. Dumped at the center. It's poked past Quincy. Here's Kindle, has to hurry. Quincy turns, gets at the center. The Edmonton Oilers shoot it right back in. Under 8 to play here. Time becoming a factor for Detroit now. Red Wings with an 8-game winning streak against Edmonton on the line. They've dominated the Oilers of late and in this building.
And this is different for an Oilers team right here with the lead actually grinding time off the clock, down low, protecting the puck, doing a good job of staying in the offensive zone.
Here comes Tatar. Couldn't get a shot through. Klinkhammer just dumps it back out. Jonathan Eriksson. Off Andrew Ference. Eric Greiba. Ahead to Klinkhammer. Kronwall for Ferraro. He gets slashed at and knocked down. Kronwall right side. Tipped in for Miller, who gets held by Greiba. Stays with it though. Miller a shot that went wide. DeKeyser moved up. Beat McDavid to the puck. Ferraro in back of the net. Glendenning, he was taken out. Glendenning came over to cover for Green. Ferraro there too. McDavid couldn't clear it. And now turning to safety behind the net is Schultz. Zetterberg moved up to keep it in. Taken to the boards by Greiba. Centering one, went off a leg, skipped through the blue. DeKeyser moved up. Trying to dig it out of skates in that scrum. Here's DeKeyser. Now Green. And Larkin just offside. Boy, son, it's strange, especially against Detroit, to see Edmonton protecting a lead late. Trevor with Hurricanes Avs highlights when we come back.
Wayne's trailing by 2, and this guy's a big reason why McDavid's been great tonight. First round pick. Here is the Nissan drive to the net. wow, is this kid ever shifty too to go along with the great talent? Great pass. Oh, what a move McDavid puts on Mrazek. No chance for the young netminder for the Red Wings on that one. Beaten by the 18-year-old first overall pick. Wow, what a player he is, and he's going to be a star in this league for a long time to come.
Well, the Red Wings need some offense going here in the final 5 minutes in their last visit here to Rexall Place before they're in the new building next year. Nyquist tried to center, he couldn't. And that's over the stick of Kronwall. Red Wings haven't lost in regulation their past 14 visits in this building, and Chris Osgood would have played in many of those.
Yeah, last victory of my career, last game actually, was in Edmonton, a place where I grew up watching a lot of great wins by Oilers. So that was a thrill. Maybe it was meant to be.
Here's a lead pass. Abdelkader in the clear. He can make it 3-2, and he can't do it.
Well, that tends to be the theme of the night. A lot of missed opportunities, missed shots, and Abdelkader sending that wide to the stick side of Talbot.
Richards will dump it in. Abdelkader's got it. That went off Talbot and just to the corner. Red Wings really pressing here. And that one off the outside of the post. There's a shot that was stopped by Talbot off Richards. It should be the Red Wings' 25th shot of the night, which would be a season high. Not giving it to them yet. That one went high, but it looked like Talbot got a piece of it, didn't it?
Abdelkader here with the breakaway. Now he's going to go to his bread and butter shot. He scored a lot of times last year on that exact shot. Larkin with a beautiful pass. Richards, sorry, that was me. Great pass up the middle to Abdelkader. And this is a shot he scored on a lot last season. He went to his A+ shot and just missed. Talbot's a big guy, and I really think this has something to do with the Red Wings missing more shots than usual tonight. They've missed the net a lot of times on some grade A opportunities.
They haven't given the Red Wings a 25th shot here in the building, but our stat sheet has them at 25. Here's Helm. Knocked down Pulkkinen. Helm's got it. Turning. The Oilers have really been protecting the lead the last 10 minutes of this game, and the Red Wings have been coming on. There's a save by Talbot. And it's cleared back. Penalty here to Edmonton. Red Wings are going to get a Bell Tire power play. Their 6th of the night.
And this penalty right here.
Number 16, 2 minutes for tripping.
Here, Helm just makes a little spin move.
Not much doubt about that one.
That was an obvious call there. A little bit of a can opener there by the Oilers forward. It's a huge power play here for the Red Wings. Really haven't been able to generate much on it. Not only tonight, but the previous 2 games as well. So they're going to have to get off the snide here with 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes remaining in this game. Just start shooting from everywhere. Get some pucks to that net. Get in front of Talbot. Get a rebound goal. Make those defensive Edmonton turn their backs.
Red Wings have pulled Peter Mrazek. So they've got 6 skaters out there. They've had a lot of shots blocked and a lot of shots just missed in a season-high 26 on goal. Looking to get within 1 here, and they've certainly had their opportunities in this game to have another. Wide open there was Zetterberg, backhand, and it was closed down. Comes around for Nyquist. So Bell Tire power play and 6 on 4 with the net empty. Abdelkader has to chase Schultz there first, clear to the line. Kindle kept it in nicely. Has it again, Kindle. Now to Kronwall. For Zetterberg, Larkin in the high slot, Abdelkader in front of Talbot. Gus Nyquist across, Kronwall shooting, Talbot the save. Zetterberg tried to bank one in off the Edmonton netminder. Zetterberg now to Kronwall to Kindle. Tried to get it back to Kronwall. Couldn't do it well. Banked down the ice and sent wide. As the Oilers change, here comes Kindle. Into the Edmonton zone, back for Nyquist. Abdelkader behind the goal around to Zetterberg. 2:05 to go in the third. Zetterberg across. Nyquist didn't shoot it and then had the pass across blocked by Sekera. Here's Larkin. Cuts to the middle. Good block by Kindle. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins clears to an open wing. Connor McDavid on the ice. Along with Anton Lander, shorthanded here for Edmonton. 25 remaining in the Bell Tire power play. Net empty Detroit. Richards' shot went wide. Here's Helm to the line to Green. Across to Brad Richards. Tatar, who has the Red Wing goal tonight, his first of the season. Tatar to Green to Richards. Back to Green. The shot, it was tipped and wide. 1:15 to go. Here's Tatar. Penalty over. Pass back. Richards the shot. That got blocked. Talbot the save. Purcell dumped it out to center ice. 1 minute to go.
Last minute of play in the third period.
Carrying through comes Helm. Shot just wide of the goal. Helm and Polkinen to the corner it goes. Check was McDavid. Punch back to the line. Green with a quick shot that Talbot saw and a hold on.
Well, Talbot's been great, but Thomas Tatar has as well tonight. Let's take a look at big boys. Big play of the game. It's going to be the Red Wings' only goal up to this point. Nice drive by Tatar, and the initial shot by Nyquist, who sends it through, and Tatar goes to the net to get his first of the year. You can see the relief. Maybe he'll get hot.
So the Red Wings, with 44 seconds remaining, have called timeout. Back in a moment. Well, you sure can't fault the work of Peter Mrazek, just like you couldn't in Montreal with the 44 attempts. They fired his way. Good here tonight. Stole a win earlier this season in Carolina.
I really can't remember back from I watched him playing Grand Rapids when he hasn't been good. Once again, each and every night, this kid gives his team an opportunity to win the game, and at times steals a game for the win.
Who win that faceoff. Red Wings have been very good in the dot tonight. There's a shot. Talbot the save. Green for Zetterberg. Tatar has to move in. The Oilers can't clear yet. Taylor Hall got one ahead. Empty net and off the outside of the post. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the attempt. So this will come back into the Oilers' zone. Todd McClelland's team have blocked unofficially 23 shots tonight. So the Red Wings, they wanted to get more shots, if not on the goal, which they do have a season high tonight with 29. Certainly at the net, they've done that, but now they got to find the back of the net.
And we can say now that Talbot has been the difference. The third period, seeing 14 shots, has been very solid. Making saves this period that the Oilers just weren't getting for the previous 2 years. And you can tell their team plays with that confidence and a ton of block shots. So you can see how the culture is changing here in Edmonton.
Clear to the line, and it's past Cronwall. Taylor Hall with an empty net, and he sent it wide. Tatar's got it. Here's Zetterberg. Ahead for Green, and the Edmonton Oilers are going to defeat the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings' first loss in 9 games to Edmonton, and their first regulation loss, their past 18 against the Oilers. Their last trip to Rexall Place is one they will not remember fondly, as Edmonton has won 3 in a row this season. And the Red Wings have now lost 3 straight. The final here, Edmonton beats the Red Wings 3-1 as we go to our studio in Trevor Thompson.